Welcome to the Blind Android Users channel. This is your source for everything Android tutorials and demos, all from a blindness perspective. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Hello everyone and welcome to the episode 75th anniversary of the Blind Android Users podcast. We have a house full today and we got a wonderful group of people here that will be talking to us about their experiences, and we'll talk about whatever comes to mind. But though we want to get our feed, the fiery feed, to open it up by pouring that good old wine from France. There we go.
Yeah, I've opened that without spilling any, and now we'll pour some.
Thank you. Take a drink on our behalf, would you, Fee?
I will, and I've filled it up. There we go. Cheers! That's very nice.
Thank you so much. And how about we go around the room, so to speak, and get everyone introduce themselves. I'm Warren here from Washington State, and today is going to be actually nice today. It's still raining out there. Believe it or not, it's been raining every day since the 1st of May. It's just been awful. I've never seen that being here in the eastern part of Washington, but we have it, and it's a beautiful thing.
I'm Fee in London. The sun's been shining all day today, but my mum said to me earlier that we might have thunder tonight. It's the Eurovision Song Contest, so I'll be watching that this evening and sending messages between me and mum and dad, and they'll be telling me about all the weird costumes and strange things everybody's wearing. And yeah, that's me. Things are good here.
I'm Doug. I'm currently coming at you from the streets of Edmonton, Alberta. It's pretty cloudy, kind of rainy, but it's friggin' gorgeous, so I'm kind of happy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Miriam, and I'm happy to be back. I know it's been a while, but it's a beautiful day here in Port Said, Egypt. And yeah, we hope we have an amazing celebration today.
And I'm Mike in Denver, Colorado, where it's going to be 86 today, Sunday.
And this is John. I'm coming to you from Virginia. It's been pretty rainy here too.
Hi, my name is Joshua. I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, and today it's cloudy outside.
Hi everyone, this is Austin from Mumbai. It's very hot here. It's almost 42 degrees Celsius, and we are waiting for the rains. So you all can send us some rains, and I will be on vacation for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks I'm not going to be on any of these episodes of the podcast. I'll be missing everyone, and I will be doing some editing on the side if I get time, but I'll be on vacation for 2 weeks.
Well, Austin, you need that well-deserved vacation. You need to take that vacation because you've not been feeling very good. And now that you are feeling better, we really want you to take that vacation. It's very important. Okay, we have another person, my buddy there, Harith. Harith, we're going around the room introducing ourselves. So if you're hearing me, it's time for you to introduce yourself. And we're talking about the weather in our cities, whether it's hot, cold, or whatever, rainy. I don't know how much it rains out there in Algeria or in Port Said, for that matter, in Egypt.
It's not raining, unfortunately. The weather is pretty cool, actually.
Okay.
It's partly cloudy.
All right. Harith, do we have you? And if we do, could you introduce yourself?
Well, my brother Well, nice to hear from you, and also as well, pleasure to meet everybody. My name is Harith Al Hamdani. I've been born and raised and worked and retired in Iraq, my original country, and I lived in Turkey, and I traveled through Egypt and Syria, a couple more countries, and for the last 3 years, I'm living in Algiers, Algeria. It's a coast city on the Mediterranean, mid North Africa, across the Mediterranean from France and Malta and Spain and so on. Beautiful weather through the year. Other than few days of humidity in the summers, they have the most beautiful weather I've ever seen. The temperatures around like now time through the summer in the 20s Celsius. The people who know Celsius is, I think it's like 60s and 70s in Fahrenheit. And I'm with my family, of course. Here I have 5 kids. The oldest in the university, the youngest is still in the first grade and our first year in school. My baby girl and me and Warren go back. I think it was 2012 or so, with my ancient Sony Ericsson Mini Pro, the beautiful little phone, slight little phone with full QWERTY keyboard. If you remember that,
You should go
I
get it back.
I custom ROM'd the thing. It went to the. I think it went to the museum because that phone was custom ROM'd all the way. The latest update to that thing is Ice Cream Sandwich, and I got it all the way to Android 6 Marshmallow with the
Oh,
custom
that's
ROMs.
not bad. That's really
And
good.
it introduced, that phone was the responsible phone to introduce Android in, big to the Arab blind community. And it introduced the first Arabic TTS to us people around here, and the group grew up because of that, and now it's over 10,000 members, 10,000 blind members. I'm proud and I love them all, and they're doing great job. I retired from that as well and taking it easy.
And this one goes out to you guys there in the Arab world. We want to see more and more of you guys come on here and be part of the community. I know we do have some things out there, especially like if you're from Turkey. I know those guys are Turkish, but we have a sister side there in Turkey for blind Android users there. So in the Arab world, would love to have you guys have a sister of the blind Android users somewhere there. If you can't be joining us here because of language barrier or whatever the case may be, but we love you guys. We just want you to know that.
Thank you very much, well, my brother Warren. And you nowadays you have Miriam. She
Yeah, we
speaks
do.
Arabic and English,
We
and
have
you got
we have
me. I speak Arabic and English. You got the best of the best there.
we do have the
What else
best of
you
the best, but
what
I
else
would
you need?
love to. I'd love to hear more voices. I love you
Oh
guys
yeah, of course.
like
I'm
crazy.
gonna try to find if there are some people with that language is the barrier.
Yeah,
Speaking the
it's a
English
barrier.
is
Yeah.
much harder than just reading it and writing it, because we have it in our schools in Iraq and Egypt and in the Middle East in general. We have English as a second language in schools, so no big problem with dealing with it, writing and reading. The problem is the pronunciation, the dialogue thing. That speaking the language, you need to practice for at least 3 years to get somehow like good English to speak with people.
Yeah,
So
that's true. I agree.
that's a little difficult for them. Hey, Miriam, how do you do?
Hello. I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. She has one of the most beautiful Arab voices. What else do you need?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
She's I think
She
she's
does,
the
and
same age as my oldest daughter. I
she
have a
does,
20-something
and so
daughter.
we're glad to have Miriam
Yep.
back. So let's talk about. We just had the Google I/O that just dawned on us on the 11th through the 12th. Let's talk a little bit about what happened. Anyone recollect recollects what happened?
A lot of
I-
AI stuff.
So let's talk about, we just had the Google I/O that just dawned on us on the 11th through the 12th. Let's talk a little bit about what happened. Anyone recollects what happened? There were a lot of things that were talked about. Actually, I jotted down 25 items. Unfortunately, I didn't have it with me as I'm sitting here, but I had jotted down 25 items that were spoken about during the Google I/O. But here are some of the things that kind of excites me about the Google I/O. First, though, I think on top of my list would be the Google Pixel Watch. I'm really, really looking forward to that. Which would be coming sometime in the fall. My guess is that it's going to be announced alongside with the Pixel 7 series.
You want my experience and advice with those?
Lay it on me, man.
Look, always, 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 for us blind people, we better skip on the first or the second release of brand new devices. We better, because they never get it good in in their first run. They had to do like one, and people start, reporting and asking for features and everything, and they might get it in the second, and or they might push it to the third.
Well, I think, though, that Google is kind of taking note of that, and most especially with the focus on accessibility of recent. I believe that that watch would be accessible out of the box. But you know me, I'm the daredevil, and I want to be in on the party. So definitely my name is written down in the color of those.
You're lucky you live in a place that you can, if I didn't like it, it's getting back home.
It's
I
well
think
known
Warren
that
is like
Warren is the Google skinny pig.
Yeah, exactly. I
he's
got
the
my
first on the
Pixel.
pre-order list. Like, oh, that's my name there. Yeah.
So frankly, I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to get that watch. I mean, I got the Samsung watch for the first time um, when that Galaxy Watch 4 came out. Of course, the problem was that I got the girly one. I had to give that to my wife. I'm like, I don't like this, too small. I should have gotten the bigger one. But now that gives me an opportunity to get the Pixel one. Now, since she has that, it's time for the
We'll wait
boy.
and see. We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Well, personally, I think it's going to, because like there have been a lot of watches like in the industry, and I think Google has to work hard to get something that can compete with that. So I'm actually pretty optimistic about the accessibility, because Google isn't new. They know all about accessibility, even if sometimes they could mess up. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that too.
It definitely will be very accessible, and most especially, coming with the new Wear OS or whatever and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. But I think the part that excites me about it all is the fact that it's going to come with, cellular connectivity as to, hey, you want to get the Wi-Fi one or you want to get the cellular connectivity one. I think that's excuse my Espanol, BS. Every watch should just come with the ability to connect right out of the box. Leave it up to the person if you want to join in the cellular network or not. Leave it to them. So for me, my watch, I want to be able to leave the damn phone at home and take my watch with me wherever I go. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I think that's what excites me about this watch.
But I don't think as like a watch is actually built for it's built as a secondary device, not like a primary one. So, I kind of agree with you, but also it's supposed to be a secondary device. So for it to have a cellular connection or things of that sort, like for it to have Wi-Fi, that's definitely necessary. But cellular connection, it's not that important personally for me.
Yeah, but my argument is, if I already have my phone, I don't need to be using my watch to look at my notification. And most especially for me as a blind
That's
person,
the whole
is it
idea.
easier for me to look at my notification on my watch and interact with that, or is it easier for me to do it on the watch?
Well, yeah, I think the experience is different because, like, for me, I would be like in a place where I have my phone in my purse and I'm wearing my watch. So that's why I just don't need to get the phone out. So that's why it's kind of different
Yeah,
here.
and
So
there's so much you can do with the phone, with the watch. I have
yeah,
a watch here, and frankly, the only time that I take it with me is if I'm like maybe doing something in the kitchen and my hands are full or whatever. But even so, usually I just have my headset on, connected via Bluetooth to my phone, so that if a call comes in, I just hit the button to answer that call or whatever. And then if I want to send a message, I just hit that assistant button and just dictate a voice message or um, text message using my voice and all of that. So in reality, for me, uh, I'm not going to get a watch that is on Wi-Fi only. If I'm going to get a watch, it's going to have that cellular connectivity, and that's my kind of watch. And I know,
But be
yeah,
careful for what you wish for, Warren, because 4G and well, that's LTE and 5G networks. If the watch equipped with that capability, you and I and many other people know, with places not so bad signal. If the signal in the middle, around the middle, those devices tend to like draw much resources, and the device gets a little warm. So I don't think it would you'd like the overall performance of them watches.
in other
I
words,
think,
I don't want to get roasted, right?
yeah. If you have those, not rusted, they'd warm. The small devices, if they have cell capability, they get warm. If it's a bad signal, they get warm and they drain the battery real quick. If
Yeah.
it's in the middle, like up and down, or switch, if it switches between this and that, man, oh man,
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish
But
that for my
you still
for
have
my
me,
budget.
you have me
Better check
down.
it and let us.
You have me down for it. I definitely will be getting one because you know me. I
Yeah,
have to.
yeah,
I have to.
I've taken my Apple Watch places without my phone. It
yeah.
hasn't warmed up. So
I gotta
Exactly.
take this call. I'm sorry. I step aside a little bit.
Okay.
I just stopped wearing it because my wrists started getting irritated. Stuff.
Like,
I think
so I look at my watch, and I would actually rather not have the cellular capabilities, because even when I'm currently taking a call on it, I notice the battery consumption is absolutely insane. Like, it will drain the battery so quickly. So, like, my concern would be how fast that battery will die if you're using nothing but cellular connectivity.
Yeah, but you can turn it off when you don't need to. It's not a static thing to where you can't turn it off. So if it's just like on my phone. If I decide to turn off my, data, I could turn it off. So the same idea.
Yeah, but we also know that not everybody's going to do that. So I'd be the one who'd be less likely to go and turn that off and on and off repeatedly, knowing that that's also going to impact the battery performance. So I think unless we get a larger battery, which we're hopefully going to see within the Samsung's release, I don't know that the cellular connectivity is necessarily the best option. I think it's a great option to have, but I think if we keep the devices coming out with cellular and Bluetooth, if we have Google devices coming out with a cellular device and a Bluetooth wireless, I honestly think they're going to see a lot more sales coming out of that than if they just have the cellular.
You're not compelled to turn on the cellular part of it. I think that's the part that we're missing here. You can enable the cellular if you want to, or don't enable the cellular if you don't want to. So there's
it
nothing
would be
here to
nice
lose.
if they could sell it for the same price, but
Exactly.
the thing is, they're going to charge more for it if they all have cellular.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. Yeah, they're going to charge more if it's got all the capabilities.
So
and
my
I know-
max would
if
be
you're on a
500. My
budget-
budget for it is $500. If it's going to be more than $500, I'm not going to get it.
Oh, it
Yeah,
won't.
but some
I don't think
people-
it'll be more than 500.
Some people don't have that much money though, and also the other problem with cellular, my watch isn't an Android one. I did have a Galaxy watch, but eventually it got so hot that it was almost burning my wrist, and I thought, "Oh, this is dangerous. I can't wear this anymore," which was a shame. So I've got an Apple Watch now, but neither of those were had the cellular option. 2 reasons. One, the cellular versions cost more, and it was significantly more. And also, I knew I wasn't going to bother using them because I'd have to pay a monthly tariff for the watch as well as the phone. And I wasn't prepared to do that. So
Yeah,
I just got
exactly.
the
It's
cellular.
usually like
I
an
just got
extra
the
$10 a month here for that.
Yeah, but
in some
like again,
tariffs,
though,
and in other tariffs
you
it's
have to
more.
be able to choose that or not. No
Yeah, but
one is going to
I
force
chose
on
not.
you that, hey, you need to have access. You don't have to.
Yeah, I know, but you might not be able to afford the watch at all if you only get the cellular version. That's what
How
I'm
much did you
saying.
get your Apple Watch for?
£270, I think.
You know how much that is in dollars? That's over $300.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
So right now, to give you an idea, in Canada, I saw the Apple Watch Gen 7 for close to $700 for the Bluetooth edition.
Exactly.
Oh no, this was the SE version, so this was the cheaper one.
The
SE version is even the cheapest one of them all, but I mean, here in the States, most of the Fruitvale watches, $300, $400.
I only got the SE because that was the only one affordable to me, and only the wireless one, and people do have to consider budgets. It's all right if you've got enough money to pay to have the choice, but some people just haven't.
Speaking of budgets, I think in my eyes, the bigger news is the Pixel 6a, because they're going to be bringing now to that mid-range price tier, you're going to be getting a flagship processor in that. And that's the first time you'll be able to get a Pixel 6a phone or a Pixel A phone with the same processor as like the really expensive. Literally, it costs twice as much money for a Pixel 6 Pro as it's going to cost for a Pixel 6a, and you'll be getting the same processor in it, which I think is going to be great.
I'm excited about the 6A as well. I think it's a good thing that Google is keeping the same price as we did have for the Pixel 5a, at $449. That's a good price, and I'm looking forward to it. I would be getting one to unbox it here for our listeners, just for giggles. So put my name down. I'll be waiting on that 21st of July. But I'm excited about it, and hopefully this fingerprint reader that they're saying is going to be something different will truly be something different, because that's one of the weaknesses of the Pixel 6. The fingerprint reader was just it's not bueno. Excuse my Espanol there, but absolutely it's no bueno. And if we have a better fingerprint reader with the Pixel 6a, I think a lot of people will get it. But the good news is that the Pixel 6 or Pixel 6 series, sold more than both the Pixel 5 and Pixel 5a or whatever combined, or whatever. That's what they are saying. I don't remember which of those. So the phone really sold well for Google. And if that track record keeps going on, I see more and more people will be getting the Pixel 6a, most especially now that it's even going to be open for places that didn't have it before, like India. Will have access to that, and I think that's a good thing that Google is opening it up to more markets.
And I'm going to get the 6A, but I don't know why it does not come to India. Why Google does not bring Pixel 5A? It didn't come to India, so I hope the 6A come. Even the 6 didn't come to India.
Well, the 5A was only for 2 countries, US and Japan. That's all you can get it from. But I think that Google wants to give you yesterday's wine. So you guys are not going to get it right away till sometime this year. But the most important thing is that it's coming, isn't it? Unlike the 5A that's not there, at least the 6A is going to be there. And my guess is that they probably will roll it out to you guys when the Pixel 7 series rolls out in the fall.
But that's too
What's
late.
the difference? What's the difference between a 6 and a 6A then? Does it not have as good a camera, or is it more plasticky?
Yeah, it has less quality. It has the same cameras basically that are on like the Pixel 5a, so it's not going to have the new fancy cameras that are on the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, and it's a little bit smaller. The display refresh rate is lower. It doesn't have wireless charging. Just basically the typical differences between like your $900 phone or your $700 phones and your $400 phones. Just the bells and whistles. But it's got the same processor, so it's gonna be able to run just as smoothly, which I think is great.
So it's more like the difference between the S22 and the S22 Fe, or like the S21, S21 Fe from Samsung. I think that's what they want to do.
Although the FE, the S20 FEs is I've got, and it does do wireless charging, and I do like that. I love wireless charging. It's so easy.
I think the best comparison is like the iPhone SE, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, because that has the same processor as like the iPhone 13.
But even the SE has wireless charging, though.
Yeah.
So that's a bit rubbish if the 6A isn't going to have that.
Well, the whole idea is trying to cut down the price. You were talking about price here a little while ago. So if you're going to make it available to people and yet give them that goodness of the Pixel 6 series, then you have to cut corners somewhere. And so that's why it's only coming with a 60 hertz refresh. The back is not going to be some kind of a plastic, the sides are going to be some kind of a metallic whatever, but the back is not glass. And then the front part of the phone is Gorilla Glass 3. It's not Gorilla Glass 5. So those are some of the compromises, and it's going to be coming with the camera that we saw back in Pixel 2 series that continues up to Pixel 5a. So it's not going to have the newer cameras that modules that we have in the regular Pixel 6. So you got to cut corners there and bring the price down. And
the thing
part
is,
that I don't like is not why they take away the headphone jack. That's stupid.
Yeah, but that was it. That's 2 years ago's news, Warren.
Yeah, and why did they take away the fingerprint reader on the back as well?
Exactly. I agree with you. There was no need to put that fingerprint in the glass, but I guess they want to make people feel that I'm really having a Pixel 6, and so we put it in there. But I tell you what, I will take reliability over nonsense.
Samsung have done that as well. They've moved the fingerprint reader from the back to the front as well into the glass.
Yeah,
that's
you
true.
do get used to it, but it's a bit annoying.
Yeah, but the thing is that the capacitive fingerprint readers are faster than any of these, unless you get the ultrasonic ones, like the flagship ones on Samsung, which Google should have used instead of this, optical one that we have.
I've always had trouble unlocking, not unlocking with the back fingerprint, because I use my thumb to unlock it, and it misses some of the time a lot. So on the front, it might be a little bit easier, at least for me to unlock it, I would think.
Well, you should. If you were using a back fingerprint reader, you're supposed to use your index finger to unlock it.
I have to say, I quite like it on the front, though, actually. Even though you can't feel where it is, once you're used to it, I do like it. Because you don't have to... Because when I'm unlocking my S9, where I've got a lot of my WhatsApp messages, I always have to lift up the phone off the table first to unlock it, and that's annoying.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I usually have my phone on the nightstand and my earbuds. I wear them and I just unlock the phone on there, and I do what I want. And just I feel like after getting used to it, it becomes pretty cool. Like, I love the front one more. It's actually much faster than the back one, I think.
Let's talk back. I'll tell you where the sensor is, at least on the Pixel 6. So
so like on Samsung, it'll tell you where it is when you're setting it up, but then it won't.
Yeah, but it vibrates. Like, it gives you haptic feedback when you touch it, even if it's not the right fingerprint. So it tells you the phone is just.
When I tried mine, it gives me haptic feedback when it failed, but when it actually unlocked, it didn't give me any haptic feedback, I don't think.
Yeah, mine does actually every time.
Oh.
Yeah, so it will be there. It'll be in the front, and of course, I like my fingerprint in the front, but I also like those that have it in the back. I don't care whichever one. I think for me, I just want it to be, something that works all the time. Reliably. Every time that I put my finger down there, I want it to just boop. There we go. I don't want a second try. I mean, so far though, I've been lucky with my Pixel 6 Pro, but there are times that I have to do it twice, and some people don't have that patience. So we need to have something that's reliable. Another thing, though, that Google talked about is the tablet, which is going to be coming out in 2023. And you know what? I kind of think that I like the approach that Google took, because instead of hearing all these leaks from rumorville and whatever vills that we have out there, Google is like, you know what? I'm going to preempt you guys that are trying to do all these leakages. I'm just going to show the thing out there. And therefore, they showed the Pixel 7 and then talked about the Pixel tablet.
Mm-hmm. Well, they showed the tablet. I think that's about all they did. But
Yeah.
still, yeah. Now, if somebody leaks like a render of the tablet, they're going to be like, "Well, Google already showed us the tablet, so this
Exactly.
isn't news." Yeah.
I kind of like that approach because you have all this, everyone trying to say, hey, this is what it's going to have. And someone's going to say, no, this is not what it's going to have. And you have all these conflicting things going on there, or, having the qualifier, but, take it with a grain of salt or whatever and all of that. But I'm glad, though, Google has done it this way. You know what, guys, we're just going to put this thing out there.
Okay, sorry to interrupt, but I might have to go. I think I have a class like in 20 minutes. It's been amazing being here, like back again, and yeah, I'll definitely be back. Like you won't miss me at all. I'll be back like in July max. But I really enjoyed being here today, and have a nice celebration all.
So you're telling me not to miss you? We'll miss you.
Yeah, come back soon.
Bye, Miriam.
Happy 75th. All right, see ya.
All
Bye-bye.
right, thank you. And so that was Google I/O. There were lots of things that they talked about. I think some of the things that excite me also have to do with the passwordless, capability or feature that they're bringing. So we kind of got those things coming in, and I'm kind of really excited about what Google is cooking, because every year I'm saying to myself, are they going to be able to pull this one off? I mean, last year was spectacular, and I was saying to myself, I don't think they will be able to match last year's Google I/O. But, to my surprise, this one even was better than last year's Google I/O.
Although we are talking about Google phones and headphones and all, but one of the things that I like in Google I/O is that Google has done a lot of progress on machine learning, skin tones and images and all those things. And also, one more funny thing that happened is that they took a dig at Apple when they were showing their messaging service. They said other phone operating systems should get a message to upgrade to RC messaging. So that was the funny part. I did not expect Google would take a dig at Apple that way. So it was a really funny Google I/O this time. I think it was better than last time.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff coming out soon. I'm excited. So, tell me the truth, Warren. Are you excited about these new Pixel Buds Pro?
So I'm not I don't like the
In-ear kind of.
yeah, I don't like the in-ear thing, but I think I want to get one just for giggles because they sound really good, don't they?
Yeah, they sound.
Are you going to
alright.
get it?
I don't know. I have some from Samsung already. I thought it was kind of funny in the keynote. There was like a little awkward moment where he announced that they were going to have noise cancellation, and he like kind of waited for applause, and it didn't come because
know.
it's like everything has noise cancellation these days. It's like you're a little late to the party, but I'm glad they have it now, and I'm glad it has ambient mode. So for me, If I get noise canceling headphones, I need them to have ambient mode because I like to be aware of my surroundings when I have them
exactly.
in. So before now, I would not have even considered the Pixel Buds for like everyday use. But now that they're going to have an ambient mode in them, I might give them a try.
Maybe there was an applause, but the noise cancelling took it away.
Yeah, because
Yep.
it was being held out, so it canceled out the noise. You're right.
Yeah,
Steve.
yeah.
That's how powerful that thing is.
Yeah.
So one more reason to buy the Google Pixel Pro earbuds. I like that.
What about Braille? Are they doing anything with Braille?
There was a little presentation about the Braille. We now coming out in Android 13, whereby we'll have that Braille display support built right in, so one doesn't have to use Braille back. So in other words, it's goodbye Braille back, and here comes native support directly from within TalkBack coming up in Android 13. So it's a good thing. I'm really excited about it because you know what? It will finally put us on an even playing field with the other ones out there to make things work better for us. And because that's one of the.
You say that, but I won't believe that until I try it.
Oh, come on, girl! Don't
Because
be
if
doubting
it's just
Thomas.
if it's just like Braille back, but it's not Braille back, it's just within the thing, that's not very good. If it's better than Braille back, then great. But there's quite a lot better than Braille back it needs to get, really, isn't there, to give you decent Braille? And it also needs to stop going diddly-ding and diddly-ding when you connect and disconnect from Braille, because that is too annoying and noisy, and it still does it when your phone's on silent, and that's just no.
So that noise. So I downloaded Braille back, and I do have a Braille display. It's an Orbit Reader 20, but it's broken. It doesn't work. It won't charge for some reason. And I turned on Braille back, and it would like make that sound even though the Braille display wasn't turned on or charging or doing anything.
Yeah, it's a very annoying noise to my ears anyway. Well, because I'm training to be a preacher in churches. If I'm using Braille on my phone with a Braille display, I do not want that noise. If my phone locks or something during a hymn, I don't want that noise.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that either.
It's distracting and disturbing and irritating.
Then mute TalkBack.
It doesn't matter if you mute TalkBack, it still makes the noise.
Okay, so I think the best solution would be to be able to either have the ability to mute that sound or not mute that sound, because
it's not there at the moment.
I happen to be one of those that don't have any sounds at all on my phone, but I know a lot of blind people want those sounds, the pings and pongs and all of that. And so it places one in a hard place. Which one do you do? So I think
if your phone is on silent,
is to have that capability of toggling whether or not I want to hear that sound or not.
Yeah, but if your phone is on silent, it shouldn't make noises like that anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
And it does. So that's annoying. So let's
maybe
hope.
having it built into TalkBack now, if you do mute TalkBack, it will mute that.
Yeah,
it's a possibility, I guess.
Yeah, that reminds me with that caller ID bug. No matter what you do not disturb, silent mode, take the ringtone all the way down. When somebody calls you, it blasts full sound.
So see, mine doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah,
some devices, they took away that bug, and some other devices, like my Nokia, it still have it. No matter what they do, it still have it.
That's annoying.
It is annoying. It's annoying as hell. So if I go to a place that need to be, not disturbed or whatever, I turn off TalkBack, and that takes it away, because it's related to TalkBack directly.
Now, talking about caller IDs, I think the best solution would be to totally disable the TalkBack caller ID capabilities, and just let us have what comes in with the Google Dialer.
Yeah. When they took it away, when they took that option away, they kept it under the hood as enabled within the talkback code.
Yeah, so
Because
they have it now.
when they got it back to the phone app, they didn't took off that thing from talkback because
That's what I'm saying. There was
yeah,
no need to keep that one in TalkBack
yeah, yeah,
on, because now that we have it natively on the Google dialer,
yeah, yeah.
then let's take it away
And then they
from
took it away
TalkBack.
from to Google Dialer, and they kept it within TalkBack. They took the toggle for it away from TalkBack. I think that was one of the biggest mistake they've done. Okay, it's not working with all devices as it should be, but it used to say, and I still remember testing, or was it testing or something like experimental or something. So it says that it's not for everybody. It was a toggle, but when you turn it off, it used to be off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, before we, when Google introduced the caller ID into the phone dialer late last year or mid to late last year,
Mhm.
we couldn't turn it on with TalkBack on, but now we could turn it on with TalkBack on. However, the
Mhm.
TalkBack one kind of becomes predominant, not letting one hear
Yeah.
what the other one does. Now, if you don't have TalkBack running and you have enabled that, then it will announce it several times that you've chosen. And so, frankly, I think the best thing for Google to do at this
Yeah.
point, totally disable that TalkBack capability of having to read what is coming in. I mean, if one wants to
Yeah.
find out, you can put your finger down and find it out, but let the native phone dialer caller
In
ID
one
be
of
the
my
announcer.
feedbacks, yeah, in one of my feedbacks, I said, well, take the whole line of that thing on with TalkBack, because whenever you just turn TalkBack on, it automatically activates that thing. So take it off TalkBack and give us the choice to bring third party, use the phone app, use whatever suits us. Just take it away because it's blasted. We have to turn off TalkBack because of it. Because the in the beginning they say it's not related to TalkBack. No, it is related. When I turn off TalkBack, that thing doesn't occur at all. So it's directly with TalkBack. No matter what the reason is, the handling of the volume channels or whatever, TalkBack triggers it on. So that's well, it's an old device. I wouldn't care much about now. I turn off TalkBack on it most of the time, so it won't bother me when somebody calls. But it's an unfortunate thing. It had been some years now, and the tons of feedbacks we did online and by email and by the feedback channel on the phone with the Google representatives, and just promises. They never took it away. So I just forgot about it.
Let's talk about something else that was Google I/O. How about Android 13 Beta 2? In Android 13 Beta 2, not so much. It's just some, improvements here and there on Beta 1. But then the good news is that some of the other phones now can jump on this beta, including Nokia. Nokia X20 is the only one that qualifies for that beta. If you're a Nokia user, but if you're a OnePlus guy, you have the OnePlus 10 series will get it. You could jump on it. And then there's, I think, one of the Xiaomi phones. There's like 11 or 12 phones that can jump on that. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but they are there for people to try it if you want to try the Android 13 beta. But what I understand from Nokia is that if you do, you want to back up your stuff, because if you want to roll back, it will erase your stuff. So if you're on that phone and you want to jump on it, make sure you back up your device so that in case you want to return back to Android 12, then you have your backup so you're not losing your stuff.
I tend not to try these beta versions because I have a lot of stuff to do and I need my phone to work. So I don't really try them. But I'm always interested from other people, how it goes.
I have it on my Pixel. There's a lot more crashes, at least on my phone, but even after the reset, but it's still...
Yeah, I have it on my Pixel 5a, but I don't think I would use it on my day-to-day phone. I mean, it's very stable for a beta, but there's one thing that you could do when you need to do it, and then something goes wrong, and then you're like,
So here's it. I have been using it on my main driving device since the developer preview 1. I'm one of those guys, and I've never been disappointed. I've never been disappointed by it, and I've been doing this since maybe Android. I've been joining the DP versions, back with Lollipop, and I've kept that tradition. And Android 12 was the first one that was so good. Developer 1 was so good, and that tradition continued. The only thing that I noticed, which is really so annoying for Android 13, is that it did not come with the new talkback, because like when we had the Android 12 DP1, it actually came with TalkBack 12, and that's the reason why Google chose to jump from version 9x of TalkBack to version 12 to keep with the iteration of the OS. And so they kind of falsified this time, because when DP1 of Android 13 came out, we didn't see TalkBack 13. And to this day, you still have that Android 12.2. So it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm sure when it's the final is released, that it'll come with TalkBack 13. Or
it definitely will. It definitely will. But this one should have had, the Android 13 beta instead of being named and 12.2. I happen to be one of those. I get tired of this point, that point. That it gets too much to trying to keep track of point 1, point 2. Come on, man. After a while, just skip these things.
Yeah. That being said, I'm glad it's not tied to the OS. Like, I'm glad you get TalkBack from the Play Store and you can get an update from TalkBack without having to update your whole OS like you do on iOS. Like, in order to update VoiceOver, they basically have to update all of iOS. So I'm glad it's separate, but yeah, you're right. They need to keep them in sync a little better.
So yeah, John, I agree with you. I think the beauty of TalkBack is having the ability, to update straight from the Play Store, and I think that's a very nice choice that someone did, that they made that possible. I like that, because just imagine having to wait till the OS drops or whatever, and it'll just be annoying.
I am also using Android 12 from Developer Preview 1, and I had rolled back once because there was some bug. I don't remember what it was, but Android 13 has been the most stable Android version ever. I have not even thought of rolling back. I don't want to roll back. I've been using it from Developer Preview 1 and now on Beta 2. I was on Android 12L also, and that had some bug because that was for large screens or foldable screens. So I rolled back from there. But Android 13 has been rock solid.
It's not very good updating the beta, though, and not having the new talkback, because how can you report any bugs or anything if you haven't got the new version? That's not very good.
Sorry to interrupt. I love to use that Google Meet one with Chrome on the PC. It's totally accessible. It has a toggle hotkey for muting, unmuting the turn off and on the microphone. Control D, a toggle. Love it, and I use it a lot with my almost daily uses. So pretty good stuff. And something came up. I gotta go. It was a joy and my pleasure hearing all of you. And hopefully we'll talk to you all again and again and again. Thank you very much. And Warren, as always, much appreciate you're doing a great job. You're on the team. Enjoy the day, please.
Thank you so much, bro. Our love to the family, and we really appreciate you taking your time to come out. Thank you so much.
Very welcome.
Thank you. Some new people have joined. I think they might have got the time wrong.
My pleasure.
Bandeja de entrada, no hay elemento a la vista.
We got a couple people that join us. Hi, guys. Would you mind introducing yourselves to
Hi, Warren.
our listeners? Hi.
Warren. I'm Jimmy from Lima, Peru.
Hey, welcome. This is the first time we're having someone from South America, and oh my gosh, thank you for coming on.
It's my pleasure.
Oh, nice to have you, bro. This is beautiful.
I have a Pixel 4a. I got it in Miami in September last year. I couldn't find a 5a and by that time, I think the 6 was not released yet.
No.
So I have my little toy, and I use it a lot. Yes, I use it a lot. I'm waiting for the 6A. You've announced today or yesterday that they have released it. And
yeah, it's gonna be released on July 21. You know, they did talk about it and showed it to us, you know, back on the 11th. And that's what we talked about earlier on. The price is really nice because it's the same price as the 5A at $449. That's a really nice buy for anyone wanting to experience the Pixel 6 series. So I'm glad we have that, and I hope you'll be able to get that, because then, you know, you'll even be better than your Pixel 4A. I mean, the Pixel 4A is not a slouch by any imagination. But really, if you have this one, then, you know, it'll even be better, because you're having a better phone with better RAM, more RAM, and all of that. The only thing, though, that we forgot to mention here about the Pixel 6a, that it only comes in one storage model, and that's the 128 gig. I think Google has kept that model since the Pixel 4a. So we got the Pixel 4a, Pixel 5a, and the 6a all sporting that 128 GB of internal storage. Of course, Google doesn't do SD card slot. So that's what we have. I was hoping we'll have a 256 gig version, but no, not this time.
I usually use, I don't use a lot of apps as you know, because you like to test them and you need a lot of space to.
I do. I like my phones with a big storage if I can. And so that's why when the Pixel 6 Pro, I made sure I got the 128 in frustration, because I could not get the 512. It was just, the pitch was just crashing. And so I got that to unbox it for the podcast. But then, of course, I went back and got the 512 when it became available. I put myself in the waiting list, and when it came through, Google let me know, and I went and got it. And so I have it. I'm happy with it. It's I think the best phone I'd ever gotten from Google. Absolutely beautiful looking phone, and with 512 gigs of storage, I'm loving it. And so I'm looking forward to the Pixel 7 and see if they have 1 TB one this year. I'll get it. The biggest one ever.
It is projected to have a 1 terabyte internal storage
Douglas
capacity.
Rudolph ha abandonado la reunión.
Yeah, and so I'm looking forward to that. Frankly, if they have a 1 TB version, put my name down on it. I'll be getting that.
I think if Google launches a Pixel phone on which Warren can put an SSD and upgrade the space to like 8 TB, 16 TB, I think Warren will be definitely going for it. I don't know what he stores on his phone, but we'll get to know. We'll slowly reveal all the secrets. We'll be having episodes of what apps are on our phones, and I think Warren is definitely planning for the future by going for 1 TB phone. I don't know how much of that he has used.
Nice.
Maybe I'm a sucker or whatever, but frankly, I don't want to be worried about space on my phone because I dump a lot of books and some stuff on there. On my Pixel 6 Pro, I already have over 250 gigs of material on it, so I don't want a 128.
128. For me, it's enough, really. Huh? For me, it's enough. I'm not. I don't have a. I'm not too techy,
That's right. So tell us a little bit about Peru. My brother, what's the weather like? Because all of us here that we came, we talked about the weather in our places. And so what is it like, like let's say for today, is it nice or is it barbecue weather? That kind of thing.
But I live in Lima. Lima is the capital, no?
Yeah.
The main city. The rest of Peru, Peru is divided in three regions. No, the coast, no, the Sierra, and the jungle.
So where's Lima? Is Lima what of the three?
Lima is the central coast. The central coast. And we are now in autumn, in our autumn. Our temperature is around, it must be around from 17 to 19, no? And although we're in a desert, it's a very strange desert. It's very humid.
So you guys are in the fall, so you're approaching the winter. When does your winter come through? Is it during summertime that you guys have your winter?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. The opposite. It's like being in Australia, no?
Yeah.
Or in South Africa or in New Zealand.
Yeah, southern hemisphere is
the southern
reverse.
hemisphere. Okay,
Yeah.
I got it. I didn't know that Peru is part of the southern hemisphere. This is very interesting.
We have a lot of cities in your country that have Peruvian names.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a city called Tacna. There's another city called Peru. There's another city called Lima.
That's right. So for us though, we're excited because summer's coming to shine. It's been raining here, as I indicated earlier on in my little town. Since May 1st, we've had rain every day, and frankly, this is something new. We never used to have that much rain because it's practically more or less like a desert here in the eastern central part of Washington. And we've had so much rain this year. That's unbelievable. Like back in April, we had snow straight for 1 week, 6 days. And so this has been very wet, and I'm looking forward to when we're clear out of this. But looks like starting from tomorrow, we're not going to have any rain. I hope Google is right, for the whole week up to Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. And yesterday I was out there, man, cutting my lawn. And it seems like as I get older, when I cut this lawn, I'm kind of having some allergies from cutting the lawn, and it's kind of making me feel like, I'll be, sneezing and runny nose for some reason every time I cut the grass. So I don't know. Yeah, very interesting.
It doesn't rain. It normally doesn't rain in Lima. Normally.
I like that. See, I don't like the rain, and that's why I like Central Eastern Washington. I love that. So I'm like a desert, lizard. You put me in Arizona somewhere on a hot rock,
But what is strange is that it's a humid desert.
But where is it getting the humidity from? Or from the sea? From the
sea, yes. From
yeah.
the sea. And we have I don't know what's the word in translating the word in English, but we have a ceiling of clouds, a permanent ceiling of clouds, and the skies are normally in Lima are normally gray.
So that's why it will get humid, because you get that what I call the blanket. So you have a permanent blanket on there. See here where I live, though, we have a lot of sunshine, especially in the summertime. It gets bright, very bright. And so that's what I like. The western skies get really bright.
There, the phenomena is called thermic inversion.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
when you get high in the highlands, you get sun. But at the same time, if you get below the shade, it's freezing. You can be in a car, you can receive sunlight in the rear window, and then if you go to the front seat and there's no sunshine, you will freeze.
Interesting.
Very
Yeah.
strange. That's in
See,
the
I like staying in the car during the wintertime. I call it, I'm going to Mexico. So I go to the car and sit down when there's a little bit of a sun peeking out. I mean, like it's been rainy here, and there are days that we'll have a little bit of sunshine coming through. Then I go sit in the car or sit at the steps here in my house because we do have like a sunroof, and I sit there. I'm sitting in Mexico. That's what I call it. So I either sit here, on the steps at my house, or go out and sit in the car when we have the sun peeking out, on these days that we have cloudy days and not much of sun to write home about.
Something I want to ask you. I have an Samsung A71. I was using it, but sorry, the thing is, I don't like the interface of it. I don't know. Can't
Well,
handle.
Samsung devices are not bad, though. What is it you don't like about the Samsung
It's
UI? I think
too
the One
cluttered,
UI is a good UI.
too cluttered with apps, and no, I don't know. I feel better with the Pixel. It's more
Yeah.
fluid.
So
And I don't know.
maybe you should put a different launcher on that one and see if you
Yes,
have a better experience.
I was reading about different launchers uh, and you have to also I don't like the Samsung keyboard, the virtual keyboard, the
Yeah,
on-screen
the
keyboard.
Samsung Virtual Keyboard. And here, I actually like the Samsung keyboard, and I'm kind of wishing that Samsung would open it up to us on the Play Store, because I had an old Galaxy S8 that I no longer have. I gave it away, but I like the keyboard on there, and I'm like, gosh, I would love to have it on the Play Store, but of course Samsung will not open it up on the Play Store. But so just install the Google keyboard and make that your default on your Samsung A71, and then also get a different launcher. I will say get the launcher 2. That would be one good one to use on your device. Maybe you'll have a better experience with that, and if that doesn't work, then maybe you can go for something like the Hyperion. But I will say, try the launcher 2.
Launcher 2, yes, and the A71 has better specs than the Pixel 4.
Yeah, I think it does. I don't remember what the A71 has, but you are right. I think it's probably better spec phone than what the Pixel 4a has. But I think that the Pixel 4a has a better camera than what the A71 has.
And what is strange, what I use for the TTS for my, I prefer using the eSpeak. No,
the eSpeak is not a bad TTS, to be honest. It's really very responsive and fast.
that's why I use it, because of
Yes.
its responsiveness first, and I don't want the other people as it's not as the intelligibility for the rest of the people is not as
So
high.
That's
So
what I call the hide my ass TTS, because if I don't want anyone to hear what's going on, I turn on that eSpeak and I'm in heaven all by myself.
Yes, that's why I use eSpeak, and I even use eSpeak in my computer. It's for the responsiveness, and that's I never installed the what's the Joyce, the Joyce,
The eloquence.
Yes, the
Eloquence. Yeah,
eloquence.
eloquence is not bad. I like eloquence, and frankly,
No, yes, but there's no eloquence available anymore. So
oh yeah, you are right. That's the problem, and I don't know. Frankly, if Code Factory would even bring us the 64-bit and sell it for $100, put me down as one of those that will be getting that if they do. That's how much I like that TTS.
You'd pay $100 for eloquence.
I will.
I wouldn't.
I will, but at least that tells you how much I like it, because I'm looking forward to. I was hoping that they would do it, but no, they're not doing it, and so maybe if there's a way that it could be open sourced, so that people who have the know-how could bring it to us, I think that would be wonderful.
it has gone through a lot of companies.
Yeah, it has.
It was developed in the north part of New York, Attica or Utica. I don't know what's the name of the town.
Utica, yeah.
Yeah.
The UK version of eloquence is very peculiar. When I use eloquence, I use the US version. I mean, if they think that's how an English person talks, really?
Yeah, I've always wondered why on earth they make that sound that way. I mean, it's horrible, and I don't think anyone uses it. Does anyone in Britain actually uses that voice? It's just horrible. I'm serious.
So I use eloquence on my Samsung, and sometimes I don't think this happens very much anymore, but I used to, if I would go to a website, eloquence would switch from the US to the UK voice.
Because that web page you're on has the UK English, and so, but you could always force it not to do that. You force it to use your system language, so it'll just override that and ignore that.
Hey,
whenever
sorry if I cut off for a while. About eloquence text to speech, do you asking for the paid version or the open source driver?
What?
The eloquence, you just.
Oh no, I was just saying that if I would go to websites, it would switch to UK instead of staying with the US.
Oh, that you can turn it off by disable language, automatic searching language, I think, on NVDA.
Oh, no, I'm using it on a Samsung.
Oh,
so you need to force the system language. So
anyway, I'm Kelvin from Malaysia here.
Okay, so let's have you introduce yourself, man, because you're from Malaysia. That's really good. We thank you so much for joining us from Malaysia. So tell us where you're coming from in Malaysia and what's the weather like there. And you know what? There's something in Malaysia that I really like. The sriracha sauce is my favorite. Hot sauce. I put that on everything.
1:47 a.m. right now here.
Oh my gosh, thank you for staying up so late.
15 of, wait. Yep, 15 of May 2022. Weather, sometime it will rain for now. What more I can tell is if me about myself or about Malaysia or something.
Just tell us about your town, and tell us your name again, because I think we were talking, we didn't get your name well.
No, yeah, you can just call me Kelvin.
Kelvin, there we go.
Yep.
So what city in Malaysia are you coming to us from, Kelvin?
I'm on Johor Bahru in South Malaysia.
South Malaysia, okay.
I'm in South Malaysia.
Well, thank you so much for, gosh, at 2:00 in the morning, man, you are such a dedicated person. And frankly, if we have any crown that needs to be bestowed on any listener, it has to be you. And I mean that. That is so nice of you to be able to come and join us here, at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's unbelievable.
No, I just joined here. Just now I just go through the group randomly and I saw this link and I click and joined here.
Thank you. So what phone are you using, Kelvin?
Currently I'm just using Redmi Note 10 Pro.
Okay. How is that interface? Is it accessible?
Okay, can we use? I want to try Pixel, but it's not officially available on Malaysia.
Yeah, but
So
how accessible is the one you are using? Is it fairly accessible or very accessible?
just a little, didn't accessible, not accessible, just a little.
But you guys in that part of the world, though, have a lot of different phones. You have all kinds of phones there that we don't have. Like some Samsung phones that we don't have, or some OnePlus phones that don't come here. You guys would have it in your area. Maybe, I don't know how accessible the OnePlus phones are, but I think they're accessible.
Really, some Samsung didn't come to US, right?
The Samsung phones that come to the US are very few. Mainly, we have like the flagship versions or models that come to the US, besides the recent A series like the A53, A52, and all of that. But there are a lot of other Samsung phones like the M series and the whatever series that you guys have there in Asia do not tend to come here to the States.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We're very limited in phones that we can get, because here the predominant phones that we have is just Samsung and Apple. Those are the two phones. And of course, OnePlus if you're into like T-Mobile or something like that. But I think OnePlus is gaining ground and it's becoming a little bit more popular. But they are not phones that you're going to be walking out there in the wild and say, I ran into someone who's using a OnePlus phone. Most people you find would either be using an iPhone. I said the word instead of a Fruitvale, would be using an iPhone or would be using a Samsung phone. I mean, I haven't even come across someone in the wild out there besides me using a Pixel phone. You know what I mean? It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. So, what majority phone that people use in United States?
Most people simply use either Samsung phone or something from Apple.
Oh, Apple. Okay,
Yeah.
iPhone. Okay, got it.
Those are the phones that you see. I mean, there may be some other ones around, but those are the predominant ones that you find commonly. If you run out on the street now and you stop and ask someone what they are using, the tendency is that they will have something from Apple or something from Samsung. But you guys are so fortunate. You have all kinds of phones out there, man. I'd always wish I were in India. India has so many phones you can't even shake a stick at.
So just more to Samsung and flagship phone, right? In the US.
Yeah, that's all that we have, But of course, for me, I like the Pixel, so I have the Pixel phone.
Any difference using Pixel with other phones, other flagships? I mean,
well, I say the experience on a Pixel phone, because it's a stock Android, it's very fluid. And I'm not, this is not to say that, Samsung phones actually are very good. The One UI has really changed the landscape on the Samsung phones, and that equally is good. But I really prefer the Samsung. I really prefer the Pixel phones because of the simplicity and all of that. The Samsung is also simplistic, but they have their own stuff in there, which is good. If one is into Samsung, it's the way to go. But if you're not, then if you prefer simplistic thing from Google, then the Pixel phone is the one to have.
mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm more likely to use stock Android, I think.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Because an update, the first thing I wanted. The second thing I wanted is a beta version. Like to try out new things.
And you actually just hit the nail on the head, because that's one of the reasons why I am into Pixel, because I want to be able to get that first preview or new OS preview, and also the ability to update. So for me, I place software over hardware. If I
What do you
have a
mean?
phone that will have all the new software coming to it, versus a phone that is so nicely built but never gets any updates, I'll take the phone that, even if it's just cheap plastic but has all the updates, that's the one I'll get.
I got it. So you're more likely to choose the software update instead of hardware.
Absolutely, any day I'll choose software over hardware, because if most especially if it's a hardware that's not getting updated, so what? I now have an expensive paperweight. I'm not going to do that. No, that's silly.
Understood.
Yeah.
So any changes on Android 13?
Yeah, we talked about that a little while ago. You missed that.
Maybe.
But it's just basically some iterations of the beta 1. There's some most especially in the security area, things keep improving and all of that. So we still have like 3 more betas to go. Maybe 2, actually. We have 2 more betas to go. We got the June and we got
till beta 3,
July.
right?
Yeah. No, that will be beta 4 in July. I think we may have a beta in August, or else Google release the
So just
Android
wondering how the
13 in
beta
August.
system works for Pixel phones.
So it's very easy. You just enroll on the page, and
Okay.
it just comes to your phone as an OTA, over the air push out, and all you need
So
to do.
let's say I have 2 pixels, so I need to sign up for each pixel.
Yeah, you have to. But see, like I have a lot of Pixel phones, but then I just chose to only enroll my Pixel 6 Pro on the Android 13. So I
So
started
later
that.
on, when Android 14 came out, what I need to do? Beta, I mean.
When you enroll in a beta, for example,